Hi, it's Friday, the 17th of January, and we're here to look at the astrology for the current times. So, what I want to do is share the chart with you, the horoscope for today, and look at the next couple of days. But I also, before I do that, I want you to consider the horoscope as a description of an environment. We actually live in an environment. It was called the field many years ago. It's kind of like a three-dimensional cobweb, and as such, it resonates with itself, so that the strands go all over the solar system. So if you make a particular vibration on one part of the strand, then that feels its way out to all the other parts of the three-dimensional cobweb in the solar system. So this whole thing is a sealed system, if you like. We affect it and it affects us. So we are part of this living, breathing, what I call cosmos, for want of a better word. It's a living, breathing something, which we are part of. And we can believe that we are free and that we are not influenced by any outside influences. However, we're not. We are influenced by them. And we can take those influences and the temperature, if you like, or the state of the environment, and we can work with it to a certain extent. And this is the use that astrology has. We can work with it to a certain extent, but if we have knowledge of what it wants, we've got about 20% free will in this. We can guide it or bend the energy. And that's really why it's useful for us to have a working knowledge of astrology so that we can work with the field or the environment or the cosmos whilst taking advantage of the potential for us to guide it in a certain way. Okay, now I'm going to share this chart with you and just show you how that works out in an astrological chart. So the best way to imagine this is to put yourself in the middle or put the earth in the middle, and then see all this stuff happening around you as happening around the earth. So this is the night side and this is the day side. And what these represent, these planets, is the influences coming in from the field or the environment or the cosmos. And so I'm going to run through all these and describe what they are sensing or living through or working on. And then you'll be able to be aware of that in the atmosphere, the environment, the cosmos around you, and work with it, but also where there is an opportunity to turn it over, you will have the free will to be able to do that. Now, when I say turn it over, what I mean is that every planet represents this side and that side of an issue. So I'm just trying to think of a quick one. So I'm not going to because I'll get lost in it. But so it represents this fine, and this is what we'll get if we just bumble along innocently. But because the issue is what the planet is all about, it is possible to turn that over and get the opposite from it, as long as we keep to the theme and the issue, as long as with that we are aware of um, this is, I'm never going to think of something. I'm just going to share again. There we go. Right. I know I've thought of something. So Venus can no, let's take Juno. Juno. So Juno represents relating a relationship. Juno can represent a relationship matter in a very positive light, new relationship, an existing relationship bursting into life again, or Juno can represent the end of that relationship and the relationship becoming more like a battleground. There we go. I've found something that I can turn around simply just for the sake of this exercise. Right, so we're back to the chart and you're in the middle, and the planet's in the middle, our planet, planet Earth. And so now what I'm looking at is this three-dimensional spider's web where these are representing the influences around us. Okay? Right. I wanted to say all that to start with because what we've got here is a really complex and delicate situation. I'm going to decode it, but I wanted you to understand what the decoding does, its limits, its potentials, how you can use it, how it won't really help. So you've got the two there. Okay, I'm going to take the first one. Right, we're so the first big influence at the moment is this lot here, opposite this planet here, Mars, and then also loosely we've got two planets off to the side working with them. Okay, so this is all on the cardinal cross. So we've got Capricorn here, opposite Cancer here, and we've got Aries there. Okay, so the sun, let's just take the sun as a bit in the beginning, right? The sun is always positive. It can't be anything else. However, it can be laden with the issues of the other planets or zodiac signs that are affecting it at the moment. So the sun is in Capricorn, and it does find Capricorn a little wearing. Capricorn is very pragmatic, it's patient, it's devoted, but it's also earthly. It's an earth sign, and so therefore it tends to want to put out the fire, the joy, the enthusiasm of the sun. The sun survives it, but anyway. So because we've got the sun here, and I'm going to include Athena in this, it's very wide, but this is such a powerful aspect. These three contributors to this current energy, it's so powerful that we can take planets that are as much as 10 degrees apart from each other, 11 or 12 in a case like this. Okay, so we've got here a female intelligence, Athena, great strategist, with the sun and its positivity, ruler, the king. And we've got opposite that an aggressive energy. We've got Mars, but Mars has been put into a ballet tutu and been given ballerina shoes. And what I'm saying that for is that the Mars as a fire planet has been plunged into water, and the water of Cancer is very sensitive, compassionate, secretive. So completely opposite to what Mars wants to do, which is be quite aggressive and light the fire, if you like. So we've also got next to this, and it's out of sign, which means the zodiac sign has changed. It's Pluto, and Pluto has moved into Aquarius. Okay, so we've got very strong and powerful forces for change. We've got a catalyst and an aggression which will power into that change and force it to happen if it can, although it's now in Cancer and therefore not as effective. We've got the sun having to take on Capricorn's earthy, humorless devotion to worshipping at the altar of Earth. And that is all about possessions and feeling secure, making sure we've got security, pension, putting things into place that will remain in place for years. Hard work, really, but it's the highest earth sign, and in this case, in that case, it has a pristine, superior, devotion to earthly things. Okay. Now, to the side over here, we have an aspect which will be important for the rest of this year. I spoke about it last year. I said it was coming, and this year it gets its opportunity. So Chiron here in Aries, this is Chiron represents a struggle to cope with wounding and a struggle to cope with a painful situation, which then leaves an imprint on us and we have to carry all of our lives. So it's our struggle to cope with it, but it's our struggle to live with it. And the lesson here is to gain a spiritual peace and a mental peace which makes friends with the wounding and eventually sees the wisdom that can be gained from it. Okay, you might want to play that bit again. However, this has been put next to Aries and, sorry, oh, what am I saying? Eris. Been put next to the planet Eris in Aries. And Eris in Aries it is quite fiery. I mean, really, the fires of Aries are just fanning the flames of Eris, who is a troublemaker, will cause trouble, but always because there is something that you should have done, something you didn't do. Yes, troublemaking, yes, discord, yes, disharmony, yes, all the trouble really that I can imagine. But nevertheless, this is an energy you can work with, although it's like getting a whole herd of wild horses and putting them into ahead of your chariot, putting them all into saddlery and putting the reins in your hands and letting these wild horses pull your chariot. My goodness, that would be some ride. It can be pretty hairy. Okay, but what Eris wants is, at the end of the day, is to put something right that has been missed or something that was a wrong. It's a natural kind of justice, but very, very effective and very strong. It's kind of like a big, strong karma. Okay, right. Now, as if is not enough, there's something else going on here as well. And this is in the mutable cross. So over here on this side of us, don't forget we're in the middle, and all these things are influencing us because they're part of the three-dimensional, invisible spider's cobweb. So the influence over here from Venus and Saturn in Pisces. Now we're on the mutable cross. Okay, that is in aspect or in contact with this one here. This is Jupiter. And Jupiter is in Gemini. And these are in a discordant aspect. They are jostling with each other. They are pushing each other into a corner. They're trying to force the other one into some kind of action. They're irritating each other. Okay, now I did speak about the Venus-Saturn influence in the last video. So take all that and then understand that Jupiter really wants to find a solution which is logical. Jupiter is working in Gemini. Jupiter expands anything that it touches, really. And in a nutshell, what it's trying to do is cope with expansion. And now I say cope with expansion, cope with a giant air balloon going upwards, because Jupiter can sometimes make us a little bit pompous or a little bit bombastic or a little bit over the top. But basically, Jupiter is a portal through to the gods, deity. And consequently, we get all the arrogance of the gods when it comes to Jupiter. But we also get something extremely useful, and that is confidence. Right, so we've got a confidence that wants to deal with things via communication or logic. and that is coming into conflict with the taskmaster, Saturn, which is intent on giving us a difficult lesson in struggle, and being denied something that we truly want. And it's the influence on Venus is that Saturn is tending to make Venus's job of supplying us with success and a feeling of, wow, I love this. This is amazing. Oh, I want this. So it's like a desire and a want. And reaching for success. It's a kind of a magnetic planet, so you can magnetize success your way. You can magnetize the things that push your buttons and make you feel excited and wow. Things that inspire you because they're beautiful and they look aesthetically amazing and something you want to own or want to have in your life. Saturn is not working to Venus's advantage. In fact, Saturn is pulling Venus down and denying all of the things that Venus represents, including a feeling of self-satisfaction, self-esteem, and self-worth. Self-worth because the worth bit is to do with our acquisitions, the things we own, the things we treasure, the things that we value ourselves by because they have value. So Saturn's working against that, and it's plunging us into a state of gloom, and a state of, if only I could have. However, unfortunately, the cosmos has decided this is time for a lesson and you may not get what you want. In fact, Saturn may be insisting on a lesson of separation or an ending. Okay, now there's one more thing here that I just want to throw into the mix. So we have Neptune. And Neptune is in a water grand trine. What I mean by that is there are 3 points to a triangle here, and the points of the triangle are being made by Juno, relationship, in Scorpio, very much about the emotional content of relationship, extreme lust, extreme passion, extreme devotion, extreme jealousy, extreme loss. Could be any of those. And then we have Mars here in Cancer. Again, relationship, love, family love. Cancer represents family more than relating love, but nevertheless, it's picking up this triangle. It's all in water, a grand trine in water. So Mars is entering this grand trine in water with really all the power of a volcano which is erupting under the water. So it's putting all that power into the water. Jupiter represents the dissolution. Sorry, Jupiter. Neptune represents, I'm dyslexic, by the way, which is why I get some of these, occasionally get these things wrong. I do hopefully remember in time. So Neptune, beg your pardon. So Neptune in its own sign of Pisces, it represents the dissolution and a pining and a yearning and a longing for something that is lost, that we can't have, something that may be illusional. And so relationships, which are probably being affected by the Saturn and the Venus, are definitely being affected because there's a double whammy here. We've got Neptune and Mars piling into Juno, and Juno is only about relating in relationship. And so therefore it kind of says, well, this is irrefutable now. This is what's happening. Okay, this love down here, by the way, can be also for cats and dogs, your pets, things that you love personally. And let's face it, I've got 2 dogs and a number of cats, well, 5 actually, I'll be honest, and they're all my babies. So you can find at this time that your emotions are being activated because there is a potential situation with something you love dearly, like a cat or a dog or anyway. So we're plunged into an awareness of our emotions, an awareness of love, and the potential for that to be in a challenging situation. Okay, there is, however, in all of this sky, and now I'm putting all together, right? So I'm going to the whole sky around us. There is, as I see it, a potential here that we can work with because there is so much potential for actual action. But more than that, I'll just stop sharing a moment. But a lot more than that, the potential is one of accepting the greater power and the greater forces on the beach, right? So there we are on the beach full of sand, and here am I, one grain of sand. Instead of imagining that, I can be quite powerful with my one grain of sand, or it's accepting that we are part of a bigger system, and that is the beach, and we have some influence, but that influence has to be done with a sense of humility for the power of those energies around us. So we have to work with them. There is an opportunity for you at this moment to take on compassion and to take on probably more emotional experience than you would probably willingly want to do. However, by engaging with the emotional energies around us at the moment, in whatever way, whether you're supporting someone through loss, or whether you're considering change in your own environment in terms of loved ones, etc. It's about accepting this with a quiet dignity and with an open heart to the cosmos. It's about bowing ahead almost and saying, okay, this is a year of incredible change, incredible opportunity because it's incredible change, but human beings can be homeostatic. We often quite want stasis. We want to stay the same. We fear change. The people that fear change the most are usually the spiritual ones, in my experience. But anyway, so it's about accepting that the cosmos, the field, the environment has a plan, is part of a great plan, that you have a part in it, and it can't always be on the up part of the wheel. We're on a wheel, you can't always be at the top. You have to face coming down the wheel and going along the bottom before you come up again. Now this, as the Egyptians would have told us, is like the sun rising in all its glory and strength and commanding the sky with its light, and then going towards the western horizon to be sunk into the duat, where it will battle with the serpents and all of the challenges that are to be found in the underworld before being metaphorically killed, being dead, killed, and then being reborn and being lifted up again for resurrection, rebirth, emergence on the eastern horizon to become the powerful king of the sky again. We have to accept that we must go through the underworld, And that's on a daily basis, an hourly basis, a lifetime, a year. And all of that I have just sort of read to you, if you think about it all and reflect on which bit belongs to which part of your life now, because all of that is influencing you in some way, because all of it is aspecting your personal birth chart, your horoscope. And so for different people, the things that I've spoken about are emerging in different areas of their life. It's all there for all of us. It depends which area of your life that it's hitting as to what is your personal story on this. But for all of us, there is a sense of uh, almost like a looming or potential loss. And I just want to say, if that is true right now for you, that don't just think about it as a loss or a metaphorical death. It's only at that moment that there can be birth. In great death, there is great birth, and there can be no birth without death. So every death, so let's just take, for instance, a young girl getting married, leaving the home that she was born in with her mother and father, and joining with her husband in her new home. That is the death of one life, the death of the single girl with parents, and it is the birth of a new life with a husband in a new home. Obviously, something to look forward to, something to be excited about. Okay, we have all of us a similar opportunity, a similar sky at the moment. There is all over it. There is um, there is an active energy which is taking us through circumstances and situations as we head into the most important astrological year since 1955. Okay, it's a big year, and we're getting it early, but take the richness, take the gnosis, take the spiritual learning, take the lessons, take the wisdom of what is happening. And as Khalil Gibran said, I think it was, sip the potion with solemnness and quietly, because this is the potion that has been of your own making. That this is what your life is about, what your soul has reached for, and therefore sip it, and sip it willingly, and with the knowledge that it is where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to experience. And coming out of it, as you come out of it and go above the horizon, you will be able to look back and see, okay, it was tough, but look what's happened now, and look what I've got now. You will look back on it and see that it had to be. I hope that was useful. I don't want to be too gloomy. I'm actually very excited and looking forward to the new year. But I too am in a situation at the moment which causes sadness, and that's okay. I think we all have it in some area of our life to experience that at the moment. Keep your eye on the fact that this is a time of considerable benefit to us. It is not just about the loss, it's about the gains. And reflect on that, and hopefully that peaceful thought will walk side by side with you. Series is the answer to walking side by side with us. Okay, so that I hope was useful, and I will see you on Monday, and I hope that you have a fabulous weekend, and it will be my pleasure to speak to you then. Okay, so thank you and goodbye. Bye.